Sorry.
Oh,
Hello.
hi.
How you can finish your story. I
Oh
think
no, she
everybody would love to
finished.
see it.
That was
Hi,
oh, is
Papa.
that a pupper?
Yes, it is a puppy. He's
Papa.
Maverick. He's a pit mix, and he's been annoying at me this entire time.
He's
So
He's
heard us.
mad. He wants your
Yes, he
attention.
does.
100%. He's been terrorizing our cat too. So it's been ridiculous for the past 20 minutes.
Turn the camera over there. I want to watch
God.
it.
The most I'm muted. Ridiculous. That was insane. How's everybody doing today?
Hey,
Good,
good.
how
How
are
are you?
you?
I'm doing well. Congratulations on this new premiere of Resident Alien. It's fantastic that the show is still around.
I know. Just when you think it's gone away, 2 years later, it comes back.
You can't you can't get us. We're like
Yeah,
a disease that can't be cured.
I was it's funny. I watched the show when it came out and I've seen a lot of it. I have not finished season two. So I've not used my time wisely, but I've seen a lot of it and it is it is a rare show that it still exists on basic cable that can now be buoyed by the fact that it's on Peacock. I mean, streaming has really changed everything. I mean, that's the easiest way for anybody to catch up, and also it's good. It's a very funny show. It's very entertaining, and I'm so glad that it's had this lasting impact for so long.
Oh, us too. Nice to
Thank
be
you.
employed too.
Nice,
That's
nice that, it's a crazy uncertain time in our industry in a lot of ways.
yeah.
And it's to have a job like this for almost 6 years and to work with such amazing material. And now, seasons 1 and 2 are going to be released this month on Netflix. So even
Yeah.
more people are going to have an opportunity to see it, which I think is, I am such a fan of the show. I don't care that I'm on the show. I'm such a fan of the writing. I'm such a huge fan of every other actor on the show. So I just know that more people seeing it is going to, um, I, I can feel it, more eyes
Yeah.
are about to be on this show that, I love so much.
Yeah, I hope it has a Suits effect because it is
Yeah.
Right.
there's it's a shame that prior to these now a monumentous amount of apps there you if you missed the show and you didn't have some type of DVR apparatus, then you kind of missed it, and then you
Yeah.
had to look it up somehow in some unseedy way. I love the casting of the show. As you mentioned, the cast is fantastic, and it's just a bunch of weirdos who are together bouncing off of each other, and then that in part is to the writing, but again the acting is so stellar. How close have you all gotten? This is such a stupid BS answer question, but
No, no,
how
no.
close have you all gotten together and working on this show and kind of in a small remote town where you are all just together doing the same thing over and over again, which is acting on this show that has an insane premise.
Well, I mean, look, I came into this show thinking, wow, I've hit the jackpot because my actual IRL best friend, Sara Tomko, who I've known since I was 18 years old, booked this job, and I booked this job, and we were like, this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. You don't get to do a television show with your best friend. You don't do that. That's crazy. And so I was like, wow, jackpot. And then I met all these other freaking weirdos who are like so talented and such good people, and that like everyone involved in this show, I love and care for them so much. And we, over the past almost 6 years, we've had a chance to become entrenched in each other's lives, to become a part of each other's lives. I care about all of them. I know them. They're friends. They're family. They're people. I honestly I cannot remember what it was like before I knew them. And Levi is the most amazing scene partner, and we have such a wonderful friendship. And yeah, I said it. Yeah, deal with it, live with it. And
From the lines.
and I get to go to work with this person who makes me laugh, who keeps me vulnerable. I get to have this wonderful dynamic on screen with a person who I adore in real life. And I think that that's across the board with our cast.
Yeah, it really is like summer camp. When we're Elizabeth Bowen is the only one who really lives in Vancouver, so we all basically descend on Vancouver, and usually we end up at Chris Sheridan's swanky apartment that he's rented. I rent like a broom closet when I'm there because I'm cheap, but we all end up at his house and do dinners, and one year even a theater in his building. So yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, yeah, it's incredible group of people.
A dream job, truly.
Yeah, for sure.
It's and then also, yes, you guys are sharing the screen together. I couldn't imagine having to the show is not that serious, but it does have kind of world-ending stakes. You know, the aliens come to destroy the world, but then he loves the world, whatever. But
Yeah.
just being with another person where you have to you tell them that I'm your partner, I'm your husband, I'm your wife. We're making out or we're fighting, we hate each other, and then at the end to be like, hey, you want to go get some coffee at the Crafty? It's insane. But you guys seem to work well together. But when you have the kid around, the kids around, what is that like having to work with children and also a man in makeup that looks unbelievable?
You mean Alan with the alien man?
Alan. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, Meredith, but I mean, it's changed so much over the 6 years because when we started, both Judah, who plays Max, and Gracelyn, who plays Sahar, I mean, they're these little babies, and I mean, they didn't have a whole lot of set experience. They're both, great actors, but it was kind of they're just starting out, and now 6 years later, they're like these little pros running around, and they couldn't hit a mark to begin with, and now they're like, excuse me, I think that's the wrong lens you're throwing on there. So it's yeah, it's been really cool to see their progression. I mean, we've basically just watched them grow up.
Yeah. I mean, they're such great kids and now teenagers, but they're such great people. And I feel like I'm like, wow, just the composure, the ability to improvise, the ability to take notes, and they're both so lovely to be and so curious and a pleasure to be on set with. And I feel like Judah is he's my kid. I'm really close to his mom and his family, and I love him, and I feel so proud of him and protective over him when we're, I feel like it's a testament to the casting because, he's a wonderful young man. And as he's grown up, I've just, I care about our little family. And Alan, if that's who you're referring to in the
Yes.
Makeup, I mean,
Yes.
watching him work is a masterclass.
It really is.
It's a masterclass. The first time I ever saw him, working on this part during the pilot, I was just like, oh my God, he's so talented. Him moving and finding this character right at the beginning of the process. I was like, oh, this is going to be, so I just sit back and watch. I just try and keep up with him, when we're working, because he is a fountain of good ideas. He's fearless. He's so joyful, and he's so funny that I will just regularly ruin takes, because it's so good. Yeah, it's a joy.
Yeah, he's Disney's finest, and he'll continue to be one of the best Swiss Army knives in the world of entertainment. But
I love
guys,
that.
I think that's my time. Thank you so much for sitting down with me, talking to me. I know you have to do it with everybody else, but I pretend that you did it just for me. Have a great day and enjoy.
Thank you,
Thank you
Chad.
so much.
Thank you.
Good morning.
You have access to record on your end.
Look at that
chat.
cute little baby. What's that little baby dog? What type of dog is that?
I'm sorry. Yes, thank you for the recording. Yeah, it's he's a pit mix, and he has all the energy in the world. There's a cat around here somewhere, and she's there she is trying to.
I see the cat right there.
Yeah,
And they get along.
they do. They are the best of friends, and it's infuriating. I'm outnumbered in the house 2-1.
He looks like he's chasing her right now. He's like, "Hey, what's up, cat? What's going on, man?" That's a cute little baby. I have a husky myself. Although he's got some poop on him that I need to get off of him. That literally happened right as I was getting online. I was like, Murphy's Law, of course.
Yes, yes,
so.
mine too.
Anyway, enough talk about dog poop. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about cat poop. No,
Let's talk. Let's
All
talk
right.
about alien poop. Let's
There we go.
Yeah,
there we
you
go.
Aliens are. Let me ask you this. I wanted to ask this to almost everybody, but after seeing the Alan in this alien makeup and seeing the Greys at the end of last season, did you picture that's what the aliens would look like in real life?
I mean, I think we are a little egotistical when it comes to aliens. The idea that they would have two legs and two arms, and well, not in Harry's case, he's got the little arms as well, but a head. I mean, if you look at the diversity of life here on this planet, the majority of life on this planet is not like the human body. Aliens could be giant millipedes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Aliens could be, a tree that is fully mobile instead of being static. We have no idea what alien life might be like. I guess it's infinite as it pertains to depending upon what type of planet, what type of environment, what would evolution require that alien species to need to be able to not only survive but thrive in the environment that they're in. Yeah, I don't remember what your question was, but I like my answer.
That's no, it's a perfect answer. Yeah, it was. The question was, how are you doing today? But
yeah, no.
Got a tangent.
What did you have for dinner last night? You got all existential on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think aliens. I mean, I believe in aliens. I don't know if aliens have been to Earth, but I think there's no way, statistically speaking, that there isn't other life in the universe. It just is. The universe is so vast. The opportunities are so limitless that it would be impossible for there not to be more life. We might find life in the solar system.
Yeah. It's very true.
So
yeah, I think it's a perfect answer. And I also want to commend you on your character. He's a very funny guy. There are two lines in the show that really stick out to me. There was one where you guys were moving boxes, and he's like, you got to make room for the murder stuff. And then the second one is you're buying a Hot Wheels, and you go, this is 75 Camaro. I'm not gonna let this one go. Like that's it. It's insane. It's for some reason you're acting with Alan Tudyk, who is playing an alien and who's playing kind of like a stiff alien who doesn't know human customs, and yet you're the most inhuman thing on the show.
I had someone tell me that once. They were like, I find you to be the weirdest character on the show, which is strange considering there's aliens. And I've had people theorize that Mike is an alien. I think if I'm speaking purely from the perspective of like Corey, right? Like for me, what was unique about Mike was an opportunity to play a character unlike one I had ever seen before. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to be a different type of Black character, quite frankly. I wanted to, and Chris gave me some leeway. And so we started playing around with some different ideas of what built Mike. And that bravado of his and that unshakable confidence, even in the face of idiocy in some ways, I think Mike believes you are what you project, right? So if you project knowingness and confidence, then people are going to believe you and be with you regardless of what you're saying. And you see examples of that in reality in many cases where people, what they call it, wrong and strong. You know what I mean? As long as you have some passion in what you're saying, a lot of people might take what you're saying as being accurate. So I think he's tried to adopt that, but I think most of his quirkiness and weirdness is rooted in his insecurities. He doesn't want to be seen as a failure by anyone. Yeah. And that kind of makes him act out.
What stood out to me in that answer is I remember either hearing or reading an interview from Lamorne Morris from New Girl talking about his character and him saying that he wanted to play a different type of Black character and where
Yeah.
he could be weird and stand out. And I think it really works in both cases for both shows because like how often are Black people or any person of color just characterized into one stereotype? It's everybody
Absolutely.
in terms of Black men has to be Idris Elba on The Wire, or they have
Yeah, we got
to
to be hood.
yeah
You know
yeah
what I mean? We
yeah.
gotta, and be ripped like you. You know what I mean? Like
I do my best.
you know what I'm saying? And I think, honestly, like that's kind of something I've been trying to do during my career. Is to similar to Gabriel on The Closer. I wanted to. I get tired of the stereotypes and shit. You know what I mean? Like and this whole kind of compartmentalizing what someone who looks like us is supposed to be like, how they're supposed to act, how they're supposed to talk. And what I want to do is turn it all on its head. So you got this sheriff with this weird Southern drawl, and for me it was a bit of an amalgam of like John Wayne, Richard Pryor, Bernie Mac, and my Aunt Flooney growing up, you know what I mean? Who I had as a kid. And, it's kind of all, different heads come to the top at a different moment, you know what I mean? And having that ability creatively to live in that land where that freedom is welcomed, that was a new experience for me as an actor as well, it did a significant amount. Well, not a significant. I had the opportunity to do some improvising on Straight Outta Compton. Like F. Gary gave me some opportunities to kind of like do some things of my own. But traditionally, a lot of the roles I've done have been very straight laced and this and that, and so I didn't get a chance to explore the type of stuff that I wanted to explore, like I get to explore with Mike. I mean, I did 7 seasons of drama on The Closer, but before that, I was in Hairspray on Broadway. I was a comedy guy, and when you're comedy, you want to do drama. And then once you've been doing dramatic, you feel like people forgot I'm funny. So let me go back and do some, comedy. But our show gives us an opportunity to do both. Mike, I think, obviously the majority of his material is kind of over the top and Mike-ish, I guess is the best way I can describe it. But, we also have had some opportunities to expose the audience to, a deeper side of him and some of his wounds and some of the aspects of himself that he's running from and hasn't found a way to resolve. And I think that, that kind of spectrum of performance is really appealing. You do anything long enough, you start thinking about doing something else. However, I could see myself playing Mike for the rest of my life. I love that character.
Yeah, as long as you get one karaoke scene a season where you're screaming into the mic.
You know what, man? Somebody else brought up the singing thing, man. I'll be honest, when Chris first told me about it, I was like, for real, man? Karaoke? He's like, trust me. And I was like, okay.
All right.
And then we did it. And it worked really well. And the audience seemed to really like it. And of course, it led to, when are you guys going to sing again on the show and this and that? And, I think, Chris and I share the mindset of it worked in that moment. It was a really nice thing to do within the realm of storytelling that worked in the land we live in. However, to come back to it would feel kind of, I don't know. If there was a way to make it happen in a natural way, then maybe Harry's having a dream. But I don't know that Mike is going to make a habit out of singing. Although, I'm open to it. Obviously, if that's where they want to go, but it wouldn't be at the top of my list of things to do. For Mike, it was weird too, trying to decide, is Mike a good singer? You know what I mean? Like, I hadn't thought about that. Like, what would Mike sound like, singing? And we did it at like 6 a.m. too, which was terrible. But it was fun and it worked.
Yeah, I think it worked in the end. But Corey, thank you so much. This is the end of
Appreciate
our
you, Chad.
chat. I'm so glad we both have tigers and lions in the background of our.
There you go, man. Hell yeah.
But this has been fantastic, and congrats on the latest season. And here's to a couple of more.
Appreciate you, man. Don't forget season 3 premiere February 14th on USA and Syfy. and season 1 and 2 coming to Netflix on February 13th.
Hell
So
yeah.
you got multiple ways to check us out.
Yeah. All right.
And Peacock.
And Peacock.
Yeah, I got it in there. You know, I felt the red dot on my forehead. You know what I mean?
All right. All right. Well, how's the day going? How's this junket going so far for you all?
It's going good. It's nice to be talking about a
subject.
new season. We've had
good subject matter.
a year and a half hiatus here, so it's thank you. We're finally shooting out of the cannon towards, we're not sure what, but at least it's going upwards
somewhere. Yeah, it's not where we are now. It's more like
right.
over there.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I can't imagine having to wait to talk about the craziest shit that happens in this show. I like just holding it in and everything. I mean, it's a great show. I haven't finished season 2, but I am caught up on what happens. And I'll tell you what, this is the thing that can only exist on basic cable right now.
Thank you. It's a crazy story, and yet we have this incredible chemistry and cast.
That's what it is.
Takes it seriously, shows up to work, believes in all of the circumstances, and plays those out, if I might say so, brilliantly. And so this season especially is a wonderful cohesive flow to our chemistry. You see the strengths of everyone just sort of rises to the occasion, and it's a real ensemble piece that, you know, always has been a strong ensemble, but I think we're really getting a chance to get to know these characters this season in a new way, and it's very fun to still be here and tell this story. It's a crazy story, but people still want to hear it, so we're grateful for that.
Yeah, I think that there's something to be, I mean, like I feel like the IP is really good, and I think that is always a great place to start with a show like this. It's got a lot going on. It's like a really strong starting place, and there is so much heart that is put into the writing of this show, and the showrunner Chris Sheridan is a big reason for that. He is incredibly dedicated to making these characters real, and I think for us as actors, like it doesn't always work this way, but he gives us input, you know, a certain amount on our characters, because he allows us, and the directors allow us, to be incredibly attached and incredibly like we live in these roles, because we film up in Canada, we're away from our homes, and we're living in these roles in a big way. So it makes it easier for us, you know. And maybe he gives us the illusion of input, but he asks us anyway.
Alice, your character in this show kind of has a bit of a sad not outlook, but a sad, you know, she's on the outs of everything for a little bit. And there was a point where you found the dead body of the original doctor, and you scream, and I'm just thinking, she's a comedian. I've heard her do comedy stuff. Now she's doing this dramatic thing. What has this turn been like for you and I know it's not a completely dramatic show, but what has this turn been like for you to have to step into a role that's a little bit more serious, even though it's kind of an outlandish premise?
I've never done this before, and I'm very grateful to the casting, Jeannie McCarthy, and for all the directors for giving me the opportunity and believing me, because I didn't know I was capable of it. I'm not going to say that I am, but I have learned so much from Sara and from my co-stars in this situation. Alan is an amazing dramatic actor. I mean, he's classically trained, and a lot of you guys came up in theater, and I came up in different theaters. I came up as a stand-up and an improviser, so I'm comedic forward, like you said. And for me, it's been really hard, and it's been a real challenge, but it's been one that I have found to be incredibly worth it, because I love this character. I love this character so much, and I love this story, and I really relate to her a lot. So I want to be as grounded as possible when it calls for that. So I basically like look at Sara, do what she does. I don't know.
You know, she turned to me when we watched these episodes together on Friday, and we were talking about, you know, these opportunities that we get to be full, well-rounded characters, and she sort of turned to me and said, like, I hope that I'm doing this justice, you know, and I had to say to her, you are. And not just because I'm, you know, like lifting you up, but in all sincerity, comedy to me is harder than drama.
Well, it is.
And there is truth. It is. There is truth. But there's truth at both cores. And it's not to say that drama is easy. It's just to say that I have learned so much watching you in your incredible, brilliant moments on set, improving and having these ideas that just pop out. You and Alan are just so good at that. But I've also had so much pleasure watching you find your stillness and watching you find these moments where you're clicked in. As my husband and I call it, in the pocket. Like, well, I mean, that's not like our original term, but that's like a boxing term, you know, like where you just, you find that moment, and you have so many of those this season. I think everybody does.
Yeah. This season is
just sort of chock full
Levi,
of in the pocket moments.
Talk about comedic actors doing drama.
Oh.
Levi this season, baby.
Okay.
Wait till you see Levi
and Meredith, like their whole family dynamic. You're right, because Meredith's used to doing drama, but I just mean like everybody has these moments that, you know, just make us a well-rounded cast. And I'm just really happy that we get to showcase all the different ways that we are talented.
Yes, you're also very talented. And Sarah, for you, I know specifically, and I don't want you to let this lift you up or anything, because it is just a compliment. But besides Alan, you are when the show originally premiered, you are like one of the main reasons I started watching, because there's not a lot of brown people, and particularly not a lot of Native people in these giant roles. And now it's kind of, you know, I don't know if you see the Annenberg Inclusion Initiative, all those numbers and everything, but it's kind of steadily moving forward. And to have a brown woman in a leading role on a basic cable TV show, I think that's huge. And now it's going to be on Netflix, and you know, and hopefully you'll have like a Suits moment where it could just explode, and we can just cast people without having to wonder if they're going to fit into whatever hole that they're putting these characters into.
Yeah, I really appreciate your kind words. And I just have to say, we have such a variety of ethnicity on this show that is so beautiful, especially our Indigenous characters. Chris Sheridan has made a point to, even in the writers' room, to and with musicians, and I mean the whole of our show.
Yeah.
Chris has made a point to make sure that there are different ages, races, colors, sizes, shapes, and it has been a huge lesson in, you know, I think seeing a show open those kinds of opportunities, and how that can lift everybody up so that we're all on the same page together. And that has been really beautiful to witness and experience and be able to play with those various people. And I will say, like, from my personal experience, I always struggled in the audition room because I'm not just one ethnicity. I sort of ethnically ambiguous. And so I've always struggled in the past to, people want to put me in a box, and I don't fit in just one box. And so it was really incredible to find a role where Asta doesn't fit in one box, and for Harry to be this other, this alien, and for Asta to feel othered very often in her life felt very familiar to me too. It's actually literally what I fill out when I do, like, you know,
other
voting is other. I don't like, that's my box, you know. So that I appreciate that too about this show, but I also appreciate seeing that explode everywhere now in a way that is meaningful and providing opportunity for so many different types of people, that we're really starting to see that needle like really move forward in the pendulum swinging, you know, in a direction that is just open to everyone. And I think that is important for us seeing like-minded and like looking people in front of us on the screen.
Yeah, what a beautiful answer, and just a great interview all around. Alice, Sarah, thank you so much
Thank
for sitting
you.
down with me. This has been fantastic, a highlight of my month so far. So thank you.
Thank you so
And hey, you
much.
know what? I appreciate your honesty about not finishing season 2.
Yeah, dude.
A lot of people in that same boat, which is why we're excited. It's going to be on Netflix.
Yeah.
People are going to have a chance to like
really
catch up before season 3. So
Yeah.
thanks
I
for
will.
your
Trust me. I will. I will.
Oh, look at
All right.
those beautiful
You're cute.
pets back there.
Yeah, it's
Nice to meet